Practice set 19 asks us to solve the multiplication problems. If you look at problem number 1, it looks like a problem you might have seen in 3rd or 4th grade. I contend that you've been doing algebra type problems from the lower elementary, but just to instill a procedure that's going to carry us through for signed numbers that perhaps you didn't work with negative numbers in 3rd and 4th grade. What's happening to the variable in problem number 1 is it's being multiplied by 2. The inverse operation, or the undoing of a multiplication, is division. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 resulting in a 1 leaves me with a 1 times x is equal to a 14 divided by 2, which is 7. 1 times x is an x, and a solution is x equals 7. Checking that, no surprise, replacing the x with the 7, does it equal the 14? 7 times 2 is 14. We have a correct solution. The procedure, though, helps us when we encounter an equation that has, as I said earlier, sign numbers in it, but the procedure is still the same. What's happening to the variable? It's being multiplied by. How do I undo multiplication? I divide. I'm going to divide, but I'm also going to divide so that I end up with a positive variable. We always want our x to have a coefficient of 1 on the solution. So to do that, I need to undo not only the multiplication by 1, but also take care of that negative as well. And if you remember the rules for division of signed numbers, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 1 divided by 1 gives me a 1x. In the meantime, what's happened on the left has to happen on the right. I now have a positive number divided by a negative. Whenever we have one negative, the answer will be a negative result. 98 divided by 1 is the negative 98. 1 times x is understood to be x if you do your multiplication. So x has a solution of negative 98. To check that, I have a negative 1 times x, replacing the variable with the value, a negative 98. Does that equal a 98? And if you recall your rules from multiplying sign numbers, if you have a negative times a negative, same sign multiplied, we're going to end up with a positive 98. So the solution checks as well for problem number 7. On problem number 9, this is shorthand that the math world uses. This minus in front of the x is an implied negative 1 times x. So this looks a lot like the last number or problem, with the exception of the implied negative 1. Now I see it. Same procedure. I want to solve for a positive x, so I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 1 for the same reasons as stated in the previous problem. We want the result to be a positive 1 for the coefficient on our x term. To maintain equality, both sides need to be multiplied. Both sides need to be divided by negative 1. The negatives cancel out. 1 divided by 1 is 1x. A negative divided by a negative cancels one another out or results in a positive. 123 divided by 1 is 123. 1 times x gives us the x. Our solution is a positive 123. To check this problem, the minus is the implied negative 1 of x, which is 123. Does it equal negative 123? Well, the implied here is that this is a negative 1. When you're multiplying a negative times a positive, we end up with a negative result, and we can see if we didn't before, we do have the same value on both sides. So our solution of 123 is correct.